Hi, and welcome to Mima's Table. Today I'm going to show you how to make this lemon cake with lemon poppy butter frosting. Enjoy, and please remember to subscribe and like. Thank you. The ingredients for this cake, it's going to make a 1-layer 9-inch cake. And it's adapted by the Joy of Baking cookbook, one of my favorites. 2 sticks of butter at room temperature, a cup of granulated sugar, a zest of 1 lemon, 4 large eggs at room temperature, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, which we make our own and we'll show you that in another video, 2 cups of flour along with a 1/4 teaspoon of salt and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Adjust your mixer with the paddle attachment and put in the butter. To that, just mix it. Okay, so now that the mixer is plugged in, turn it on and low just to make sure that the butter starts to mix. According to the recipe, it says to mix the zest along with the sugar, and this will start to blend in the zest with the sugar. We could raise the speed and let that mix for a little bit. Okay, so now we have the sugar and the butter well mixed. We go ahead and stop our mixer and scrape the sides of the bowl. This is very important so the ingredients that are left at the bottom will be able to mix together. Put it back down and we turn it back up. At this point, we are going to add the eggs, one at a time, to make sure that they incorporate well. After all the eggs are incorporated, again we want to stop the mixer and scrape the sides of the bowl. As you can see, we're scraping the butter that is in the bottom to make sure that it incorporates with the eggs. At this point, we're going to add our 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I like to make my own vanilla, and I happen to like the one made with bourbon, which, as I mentioned earlier, will show you this video so you don't have to spend a lot of money on vanilla, because trust me, I know that vanilla is very expensive. At this point, we are ready to add the flour with the baking soda with the salt. What I'm doing here is I'm stirring it to get all the ingredients mixed in and to sift it together. Our mixer is on low and we are going to add it slowly so we don't end up wearing the flour and dirtying my kitchen more than it already is. So we are adding the flour little by little. Our oven has been preheating at 350 degrees. We are going to stop the mixer in a minute, a second actually, and we're going to scrape again the bottom of the bowl. It is very important in baking to always scrape the bottom of the bowl. This will also go into a spring form pan that's been buttered, so it makes it easier for you to get out once the cake is done. This is our last step, which is to add our lemon juice. It may curdle, but don't get nervous, because that's because of the flour and the lemon, and because of the acidity it wants to do that, but it's okay. Alright, we're going to shut off the mixer I'm going to lift it. Please make sure that you clean every bit of it off. Okay, so at this point we are putting the cake batter into the springform pan, and we are going to spread it. This is going to go again into a 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes. What I also like to do to make sure that there's no air pockets is I like to slam it down to make sure there's no air pockets. Okay, so the cake is in the oven now, and I'll see you in a half hour. Thank you. Our cake has come out of the oven and it looks a gorgeous brown. Now we're going to let this cool completely before we make our lemon poppy seed buttercream. So once the cake cools, I will come back and frost the cake. As you can see, the cake pulled off the pan, so that will make it easier for us to spring form it out. Again, I will be back once the cake is cooled. Thank you. Okay, so I've taken the cake out of the oven. It's now cooled, and I've put it into a nice platter. We're going to make the lemon poppy seed buttercream frosting, and the recipe is 1 stick of butter, which I already have in the mixer, 3 cups of powdered sugar, a tablespoon of poppy seeds, 2 teaspoons of vanilla syrup, and the juice of a half a lemon. I also forgot to mention that we may need a tablespoon of cream or milk or half and half to thin out the frosting. And also, because it's Easter and it makes it look pretty, I'm going to put in a couple of drops of yellow food coloring. So we start with the mixer with 2 cups of the confectioner's sugar and the stick of butter. We're going to start mixing that in until it starts to form. Remember, we don't want it put it on too fast, because then we're going to end up wearing the frosting. We are going to add 2 of the teaspoons of the vanilla extract and the juice of the lemon. I'm going to stop the mixer to do this because I have this juicer. So I open it, I put this in, and I squeeze. You're going to go ahead and turn the mixer back on, and you're going to see that the frosting is going to come together. I raised the speed to 4, and we're going to add another cup of confectioner's sugar, because I have scraped the bottom of the bowl and it looks a little bit too soft, and honestly I want more for the surface of the cake. So I'm going to go ahead and add another cup of the confectioner sugar. Again, I am not brand loyal. I buy whatever is on sale. So you may see for this recipe that I have the Domino. For another recipe, I have the ShopRite brand, and so forth. I'm going to start again with the mixer on low. We're going to let that incorporate, and once it incorporates, we are going to up the speed, add the food coloring, and the poppy seeds. As you can see, the frosting is coming together. I don't think that I need the milk. I'm going to stop it to see my consistency. Actually, I do. It is a little bit tight now, so I'm going to again scrape the bottom, the sides and the bottom of the bowl. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of the half and half that I have, and I'm going to add a couple of droplets of the yellow food coloring. So here's the teaspoon of the half and half, And here, I don't know, let's say 3 droplets of the yellow food coloring. We dropped it all in and turn the mixer on high and let it whip. It's a slightly faint yellow, which is very cute. So a little bit faster, let it whip nice. Okay, so with the mixer on low, we're going to go ahead and take a tablespoon of the poppy seeds, and we're going to add that in. We're going to raise it just a little bit, and as you can see, it's got the speckles from the poppy seeds, and it's got the faint yellow color of the yellow food coloring. I have incorporated the poppy seeds by hand just in case there's any of them at the bottom. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and drop the whole dab of it on the cake, and then I'm going to take an offset spatula and I'm going to spread it out. I'm not going to do the sides because I like the way that it looks rustic on the cake. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the top and do a cute design. So the cake is frosted, and look at it, it looks really pretty, and it looks good enough to eat, which we will do. I want to thank you for watching. Hope you try this recipe, and please hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you very much. Take care.